Hello, viewers. This is Michael from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from my segment called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to breach your heart during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language. Now, if you're over 18, then you should good to watch this audio podcast recording. Okay, so anyway, with this and everything else the way, let's get into the latest episode of Zenkaiger. So basically, this episode starts off like this: we see as usual, we see a bunch of kids arriving at Kaido's grandma's store. Getting some treats from Kaido's grandma's store. A new boy who just moved into the neighborhood named Rio was the first time going to Kaido's grandma's store. Where all the kids, all the human kids and Kaiwoi kids, go every day after school, to get candy and stuff like that. So basically, he was kind of shy. So basically, kind of like usual, Kaido's grandma was there to greet the kids, greet the kids, and saying hello to the kids, was there to greet the kids, when they buy, when the kids show up to buy, to buy stuff from her store, along with Kaido and the others. So basically, the boy Will was kind of shy, and the others, so basically, Kaido's grandma and the others realized that, you must be new. We didn't see you around before. So basically. Kaido's grandma and Kaido and the Kaiwois, so basically, and the others, pretty much know every kid in the neighborhood that comes into Kaido's grandma's store to buy candy and stuff from Kaido's grandma's store. So basically, we always I just moved, we're shy boys, I just moved here and whatnot. So basically, Kaido and the gang was trying to, was trying to introducing themselves to this new boy Will, who just moved into the neighborhood, but Will was too shy and he just ran away from them. So basically, and Maxine said, I know what it's like to be a new kid that's just moved to a new town. So basically, I can feel where he's coming from. Then, out of nowhere, the whole city started to change, turn back into a 70s style. The whole neighborhood transformed back from the present time into a 70s Japanese town. So basically, it's like some Back to the Future nonsense. So basically, the town went from transformed into a Japanese 70s type of town style. So everything was turned back into a 70s design. So basically, all cell phones were turned into those old router cell phone. Those old router, with the cell phones used to, poke your hand through, the circle shit, phone booths popped out, flat screen TVs were all old-fashioned TVs with knobs and shit with antennas on it and shit. So basically, the whole city turned back and went from the present and turned into a 70s type style of the city looked something like the whole city looked like something out of a 70s Japanese movie, those old-fashioned Japanese movies back in the 70s and shit. So basically, everybody was like, "What the fuck is this?" So basically, Kyle and the others thinking this must be a work of a new work of a new monster. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the bad guys, back at the Chosen Tento's Dynasty Empire's palace headquarters, we see King Bulka yelling at get at Colonel Bastion and Professor Aizen about their failures to take over Kaido's world, and also he also started to like, how did this new monster is going to take over this world this time. So basically, Colonel Bastion and Professor Aizen was like, what new monster? We had not seen any new monster. So basically, King Boker was like, wait a minute, none of you guys seen a new monster that just turned the city into a back just turned the city into a 70s style that turned the city back into the 70s? No. It turned out it was King Boker's robot third that sent the monster named Retro to convert the city back into the 70s. Convert the whole city back into the 70s. So anyway, so basically like Giddy displayed that, the Retro monster has a special power, special power that can, that will be very useful to take down the Zenkaigers and take down the Zenkaigers and Kikai. So you just have to wait and see. So basically, King Barker was like, all right, King, let's see what this special monster. Let's see what your Russian monster has. Let's see what your Russian monster can do. So anyway, so basically, like Kaido and the others was amazed that the whole neighborhood looks like the whole neighborhood in the city was converted back into the 70s. So basically everything was converted back to the 70s, and it seemed like all the people in Cairo was just digging the whole 70s vibe. So basically this was a good thing. So basically everybody was. It seemed like everybody in the city was given the whole city being turned, when you convert it back into a 70s setting, was enjoying this. So anyway, the Retro Monster was happy with his handiwork, and I don't know where here comes Zenkaiger and started to attack the monster, and the other Zenkaiger showed up already morphed up and started to attack the Retro Monster. So anyway, the Retro Monster used his weird power to hit Zenkaiger and the other Zenkaigers with this Retro Wave that forced him to demorph, and they was wearing these weird 70 clothes, so basically Kaido had this weird long 70s hairdo, looked like something out of a disco club, and as for Zox, aka Kikai, he kind of looked like one of the 8 member of that boy band BTS. He do look like, what's his name, the one with the blonde hair. I forgot his fucking name. But anyway, so basically, it turns out that Rox got hit with Rudy got hit with the worst of the Retro Monster's Retro Wave attack, and basically turned his robot into a wheel with a stick attached to it. So basically, and also not enough, the clock Kyle spaceship got turned into a real sail ship with Flint and her brothers all already on it. So basically, when the Russian monster converted Kaido and the others' clothes into a 70s style, he also converted the bad tech of the clock Kyle and turned it into a old church with Flint and her brothers already on it, and we see them crashing, have a crash landing there though, and near the I believe somewhere near the water, somewhere somewhere near the beach or somewhere, and Doc's supposed to go check on them to see that they were okay. So anyway, the rest of them got away, and and the Zenkaiger is was even though they was even though they was kind of upset that the rest of them got away, but they were digging their 70s clothing that the rest of them gave them. So basically they were digging their 70 clothes that the rest of Monster gave them. So anyway, they decided to once again to look around for the rest of Monster again, while the 70 style city and whatnot. So anyway, Kaido. And while they was looking around, they saw Kaido. But Kaido and the others saw that boy Rio. Was upset. Was upset that he wanted to go back to his old neighborhood and whatnot. So basically, Kaido's grandmother decided to take around the old 70s city that the Western monsters turned around the old 70 neighborhood that the Western monsters used for these powers, and show the boy a good time in his new hometown. So anyway, so it seemed like Kaido's grandma was doing a good job. So anyway, then we cut to see Stacy frustrated that was talking about maybe. Ever since he took the Professor Aiken's offer to work for him, so ever since Stacy took the offer to work for Professor Aiken, things were not going his way. So basically, he was thinking about breaking, leaving Professor Aiken and want to do his own thing to get revenge on his dad and whatnot, and that's when he saw a bunch of people in Kaiwords, on the street, with an old-fashioned boombox, just doing some weird traditional Chinese breakdancing and whatnot. Seemed like everybody was enjoying himself. So basically, Stacy sees it, Stacy was oh, this Russian monster really got these people enjoying this 70s style, or this old retro 70s style, tied to it that he turned the whole city into, and that's when Kaido's grandma showed up with Rio, so you should try it. And so basically, he was telling Stacy and Rio, you should try to dance with them. So basically, Rio was, Stacy was like, no way, and the boy Rio was like, no way either, because he didn't want to look fool. Well, look at them, they're having a good time. So basically, Kaido's grandma managed to talk the boy Rio into joining the dance group and having a good time while Stacy sees the watch, and all of a sudden he started to have a flashback of his mother, and that's when he left. So basically Kaido and the others showed up, and Kaido and others saw grandma having a good time with the new boy Rio, dancing in the streets with these groups of dancers with an old-fashioned radio boombox. And out of nowhere, that's when the Retro Monster decided to to just go ahead and say two of his plans. So basically, the retro monster used his power to, make everybody think about their past, make them all depressed about how their lives were turning out and whatnot. So anyway. So basically, it seems like every human and everybody was seen to be depressed, such as the Kaiwars. So basically, it did affect Zuan. All the Kaiwars was affected for a brief moment, but so basically, looking back at the life, so basically when Zuan, Gao, Maggie, and Boom were having flashbacks of their life before they became Zenkaigers, they realized that their lives were not boring. Their lives were kind of horrible back then before they became Zenkaigers. It was able to snap out of it, and they went to Sashimi, who called them on a payphone. They managed to find the Wretched Monster's location, and managed to fight the Wretched Monster and whatnot. So anyway, the Wretched Monster had the ability. So basically, they did a lot of damage to the Wretched Monster. But since the Wretched Monster has the ability to time, he managed to reverse the damage that the Zenkaiger did to him. But lucky for them, Zuan managed to take the Time Ranger Sentai gear from Kaido and use it to unreverse the Retro Monster's time powers and use it to destroy the Retro Monster, and the whole city was turned back to normal and whatnot, and all the humans, everybody that was affected by the Retro Monster's retro rage were depressed and were back to normal and whatnot. So basically Kaido showed up, in his Ranger in his Zenkaiger Ranger form, and basically two Kaijus showed up, with his spaceship back to normal, and took up the form the Megazords, which formed the Zoo Guy Megazord. So basically Kaido and Gao and Juan combined into the Jew Gao Megazord, and Zox, aka Two Kaiser, brother combined together to form the Cutterton Kyle Megazord, and took down the Retro Monster after a few shenanigans, and everything was back to normal. So basically, that that Robot King's plan didn't work out with the Retro Monster, and the giant sized Retro Monster was destroyed, and everything was set. Everything was good. So anyway, later that day, we see Kaido, Gao, and Yuan coming from the grocery store, and saw that the new boy Rio had made some friends, and was happy that the new boy who moved into Kaido's neighborhood. So Kaido saw that new boy Rio made some new friends, which saw the new boy Rio just making some new friends and playing together with his new friends. So basically Kaido was happy about that, and the episode ended we're at Kaido's grandma's shop. As usual, we see Kaido's grandma looking at the kids who come in the shop, and we see her smiling and greet the kids. that was coming into a shop buying stuff, and this had the episode in it with Kaya's grandma, greeting the kids that come into her shop, buying stuff and whatnot, greeting them with smiles and whatnot, and this had the episode in it. So anyway, this was a good episode. I really liked this episode. So baby, I really liked this episode. This was a good Joe Fat episode. So basically, it felt like it felt like a old style Super Sentai series, like something out of Battle J5. It felt this whole episode felt like they were doing it sort of like a tribute to old Sentai. So basically, this was a good episode. So anyway, this is one of my favorite episodes so far. I really enjoyed this episode. So anyway, what do you guys think about this episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it just okay? Please let me know in the comments below this podcast. So anyway, like always, it's Cynthia Michael from Screen Reviews. Signing off. 1.